Right now, somewhere in a cardiology office, a doctor is looking at a scan and seeing something most people never expect. A heart under more strain than a treadmill stress test, and the patient has no idea it happened during a private moment at home. There's a specific point after 60 when physical intimacy becomes a real cardiovascular event, and almost nobody has explained that to you clearly. In the next 9 minutes, I'm going to walk you through the 7 mistakes quietly sending people to the emergency room, the one medication combination cardiologists call a silent kill switch, and exactly how to protect your heart without giving up closeness. Stay to the end. Mistake number 4 is the one almost nobody talks about. Physical intimacy is, medically speaking, a cardiovascular event. It raises heart rate, blood pressure, and myocardial oxygen demand, much like moderate exercise does. That's not something to fear, it's something to understand, so you can protect your circulation, your heart, and the years ahead of you. Mistake number 1. Resuming intimacy without medical clearance after a cardiac event. The American Heart Association notes that patients recovering from a heart attack, bypass surgery, or a new diagnosis of heart failure should be evaluated before resuming sexual activity because the strain involved is comparable to climbing 2 flights of stairs briskly. Skipping that clearance is one of the most preventable risks on this list. Mistake number 2. Combining nitrate medications with erectile dysfunction drugs. This is one of the most well-documented dangerous interactions in cardiology. Nitrates, prescribed for chest pain, and PDE5 inhibitors, prescribed for erectile dysfunction, can combine to cause a sudden, severe drop in blood pressure. This combination has been linked to fainting, heart attack, and in rare cases, death. If you take nitrates, this is a conversation for your doctor, not a pharmacy label. Mistake number 3, ignoring warning signs mid-activity. Chest tightness, shortness of breath that doesn't ease, sudden dizziness, or an irregular heartbeat are not signs to push through. They're signs to stop, rest, and tell someone. Pride has sent more people to the emergency room than caution ever has. I want to pause here because this next part matters. Subscribing to this channel means the next time a topic like this comes up, one your own doctor might rush through in a 10-minute visit, you'll already understand it clearly, calmly, and without shame. That's the whole reason this channel exists. Mistake number 4. Overexertion without any cardiovascular conditioning. A sedentary lifestyle in the weeks and months leading up to intimacy raises risk sharply because the heart isn't accustomed to sudden exertion. Regular moderate activity, walking, swimming, light strength training, conditions the heart the same way it would for any physical demand. Mistake number 5. Mixing alcohol with blood pressure medication before physical activity. Alcohol can amplify the blood pressure lowering effect of many cardiac medications, increasing the risk of a sudden drop in blood pressure, lightheadedness, or fainting, exactly when the body can least afford it. Here's the core science tying all of this together. Cardiologists often measure exertion in METs, metabolic equivalents. Climbing 2 flights of stairs briskly sits around the same demand as most sexual activity. If you can comfortably do that stair test without chest pain, palpitations, or severe breathlessness, that's a widely used clinical benchmark suggesting your heart can likely tolerate the exertion. If you can't, that's valuable information, not a reason for fear, but a reason to talk to your doctor. Mistake number 6. Engaging in physical activity right after a heavy meal or in extreme temperatures. Digestion pulls blood flow toward the stomach, and heat or cold adds additional cardiovascular strain. Cardiologists generally recommend waiting a few hours after a large meal and avoiding extremes of temperature around exertion. Mistake number 7. Not communicating limitations with a partner. Fear of disappointing someone can push people past safe limits. Cardiac rehabilitation specialists consistently point to one thing. Open communication about pacing and comfort measurably lowers cardiovascular risk because it removes the pressure to override the body's own warning signs. If you ever experience chest pain, pressure, unusual shortness of breath, or a racing or irregular heartbeat that doesn't settle within a few minutes of rest, treat it as a medical event, not something to wait out. That single decision, made early, is what keeps a manageable moment from becoming an emergency. So what does safer look like? First, cardiac rehabilitation and graded activity programs. These medically supervised programs rebuild stamina gradually and are one of the most evidence-backed ways to safely return to normal activity after a cardiac event, according to major health institutions including the AHA and NHS. Second, pacing. Building in rest, choosing lower exertion positions when advised by a physician, and treating stamina like any other muscle that's rebuilt gradually, not forced overnight. Third, remembering that closeness isn't only physical exertion. Affection, touch, and emotional connection carry real health value on their own. Lower stress hormones, better sleep, and measurable cardiovascular benefit without the same demand on the heart. For many couples navigating a health condition, this becomes just as meaningful as it ever was. I'd love to hear from you directly in the comments. What's your age? Where are you watching from? And has a doctor ever actually walked you through this? Your answer might be the exact thing another viewer needed to read today. Let's bring it together. Skipping medical clearance, mixing nitrates with ED medication, ignoring warning signs, poor conditioning, alcohol with blood pressure medication, heavy meals or extreme temperatures, and silence instead of communication. 7 mistakes. Every one of them preventable. None of this is about fear. It's about understanding your own body well enough to protect the years ahead of you and the people you want to spend them with. If you found this helpful, the next video walks through exactly how a stair climbing test at home can tell you more about your heart than you'd expect. I'll see you there.